Oh, I eat, sleep, live this off-road lifestyle. My first high school truck was a Chevy Silverado 1500. And you know, you all start out with the CST kit and romping around the desert and breaking that. And then one day after work, I cut the back off. My dad looks at me and goes, "How are you gonna get to work Monday?" I don't know, I'm 21 years old, and it wasn't a thought in my mind how I was gonna get to work. I'll figure it out. Then I met friends that got me turned on. It's like, hey, you should come out and race your truck at the MDR night race. It's like, okay, that sounds fun. Never done a desert race. I grew up racing micros and sprint cars. So I was like, all right, let's give that a shot. And we did that. And once we did that one race, I was only planning on doing one desert race. All I was gonna do, I was still growing up, gonna go do sprint cars. And then it turned into the next one, and then the next one. And then it just sucked me and my dad into it. And this is where we are at now.
Back before we went to off-road racing, when he was running the midgets and micro sprints out there, my passion was to watch him race, to do that. He was good at that. He was a champion at the track up in Visalia. And you always want to see your kids do better than you did. And I think he's stepped it up. If you've been to the sand dunes with Adam, you know his passion for off-road. And I think we both have the same passion, for that part. And I think that helps us to get along a lot better.
Oh, I don't even know how many times I've raced the Mint now. Our first time racing the Mint 400, we were doing it in a Class 1 car, and we were still early on. That might be 2008, I think, when they brought it back up on the north side of Vegas. And we didn't know what we were getting into. It's something me and my dad shared, racing this Class 1 car. And I remember it just beating the crap out of us. And just like, man, is this what we are doing? Like, yeah, it was our first race was definitely a wild one. It keeps bringing us back every year, trying to race it and to try to get closer and closer. Last year was definitely a killer year. I went out to win it last year in unlimited truck and ended up third. I really want that win, and we are going to strive for it this year. 2024 is my year.
I think it just goes back to my earlier days. The Mint, it was just a prestigious race. I was never a big Mexico guy back in my earlier days. So a lot of people have the passion for the 500 and the 1000. We've competed in all of those part of it. And it's just the Mint, it's just my passion. I just want that Mint 400 win.
Oh, to have the best tires underneath you, it's way important. I've been on BFG since day one, even my 1450 days. Even if I had to buy used tires at the swap meet, I was always on BFGs. When we started racing the unlimited truck, they started helping me out to advance my program to make sure we had the best we possibly can with tires. And when we asked for more traction, they gave us a tire with more traction. When we asked for a better tire to handle graded roads so they don't chunk up, BFGoodrich did that for us. So we've been on them since day one, and there's no other tire I'd pick.
I think we've run BFGoodrich ever since we've been in the sport. You can't go wrong with their success in the industry in that part right there. And I think they stay on the forefront of it right there and keep everybody on the cutting edge for tire technology. Who wants to change a flat out there, especially changing a 40 these days, Had opportunities to run other tires and just always stuck with BFGoodrich.
When you know you can jam across rocks and know you're not going to get a flat, or even if you do hit a rock with a sidewall, knowing that it's going to take it. That's a huge advantage. You can push harder, you can push faster. So just having that confidence of having that tire underneath me, that I don't even worry about them. Really, if you're working here in off-road, you gotta love it. You gotta be passionate about it, because otherwise you won't survive in a shop for very long. We have a good core group of guys. When we were sprint car racing, it was me and one other guy. You can't do that with desert racing. You have to have a team. And you build this, and we were able to do our sprint car stuff out of a 2,000 square foot shop. Well, you can't do this out of a 2,000 square foot shop. Like, 2,000 square foot shop takes up tires alone. So being able to have this, and fortunate enough to be provided every means that we need, it's pretty real. We don't send very much stuff out besides motor, transmissions, third members. Everything else we do here. We rebuild the rack and pinions. We rebuild our own shocks. On the other side of the wall is our fabrication shop. This side is just for prepping only. And It's a blast. I love coming to work every day. It's a dream come true for a lot of people, and I get to live it. Anytime you race the Mint, it's a test on all the equipment. Tires, transmissions, motors, gears, shocks. The whole package needs to work. So I don't know, the whole race itself is just brutal. On that third or fourth lap, you just get kicks every time. The back of the seat's hitting you in the back of the head. You're just like, you know, how much longer do we have to go?
That fourth lap, that Mint 400, you and your co-driver both cringing every time you hit that square edge and doing that. Well, it's the last time we have to see this. You get through the last lap and hopefully you can see the checkered flag first.
You know, winning in the Unlimited truck, it's not easy. It just gets harder and harder every year, and you're trying to figure out how to keep going faster and making stuff survive. So when you can win these races, it definitely means something. It means something to me, it means something to my team. You know, it brings morale up.
I think anybody who's ever driven a race car or a race truck or a Des or anything that way, anytime you can sit behind that wheel and it's you and your co-driver, and think there's no other thrill like it in the world. Whether you're out in the middle of Mexico, you know, 200 miles from nowhere, or if you're in Parker, you know, 50 miles from nowhere. People never get the understanding of a part like, you know, how do you still do this, you know, at your age and doing that part of it? Well, I still enjoy it. My goal is to win the Mint 400. You know, I've been second a couple times, so we have another chance this year.
When you can win a championship, your names are in the book forever. To be one of the first ones to win the Triple Crown Championship, you know, I proudly show that sword off. I was actually at a PCI the other day, and Ryder is into him. I'm like, hey, you want to see my sword? And I come carrying it in, and he's just like, it's a cool piece to show off. Oh, I'm excited to race this new Unlimited series. There are 3 great races, starting with Parker. Everyone loves Parker. It's definitely a favorite. I love the Mint 400 out in Jean. Like, that's tough, big whoops, fast, you know. It shows a good working truck. And then same thing, going to Barstow. It's big, rocky, rough, lots of dangers. You have to be respectful of Barstow, so those are 3 tough races. There's nothing easy about them. We had an awesome season last year. Everything in the States, we were always on the podium, and you can't ask for much. Like, you have to take the high as it goes, and that's what we're carrying into this year. How I kind of say this year, it's 2024, it's the year of the 24, my truck. So we are gonna make the best of it and try to come out on top again.